Здравствуйте, меня зовут Olman, я из директор по развитию бизнеса в AppSumo. And that's... Я люблю Киев. So first of all, I want to give a round of applause to you guys. I want to hear a round of applause. You guys are the innovators. You guys are the creators. When I told everybody I was coming to Ukraine, everybody's talking about it, and I'm not referring to what you see on the news with Trump. I'm talking about the innovation that's happening, all the SaaS companies that are coming out. It's some really incredible talent. So congratulations to all of you. So AppSumo, most of you already know, so I'm not going to go into that. So we talk to thousands of companies a year, right? I personally launch about 100 products a year. So we go through a lot of vetting. We ask a lot of questions. We dissect their business, and we learn a lot from every single company that we work with. So based on all the conversations I've had, I've kind of gathered 6 or 7 things that I've noticed every SaaS company just keeps making mistakes on. The first one is very simple, and it just kind of reminds me of dating, right? Your landing page is a lot like dating. When you meet somebody, and it's a girl that maybe you want to talk to, or a guy, you don't go up to them and say, "Hi, my name's Olman. I like to swim. I'm the man of your dreams. I like to cook." You don't give all this information at once. You kind of go in slowly, and when you want to be dressed nice, you want to be presentable, right? And same thing, when you're forcing a demo right off the bat, it's very weird. It's like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Do you want to go to Paris?" It's like, whoa, slow down. Like, we just met. So, your landing page is a lot like Tinder, same thing. Customers are going to swipe right or they're going to swipe left. So you want to make sure that your landing page doesn't look like this, where it's just so much information. I'm not going to read any of this. And it's something prettier like this, very actionable. The first thing that I see is, get your first 25 leads free. So it's calling to me. It's very pretty. It's well designed. So very simple. Just hire a designer, hire a copywriter. And then a lot of you said that you have customer personas. You want your landing page to create that messaging. You want it to kind of speak to the customer that you're looking for, which brings me to my next mistake, which is people not having customer profiles, right? A lot of you said you had, so that's really good. 25% of you said you didn't, where you have no idea who your top customers are. So what we did at AppSumo, and what we always challenge our partners to do, is to get on a call with 50 of your top customers. Not a survey, not anything they fill out online, actually getting on the phone and speaking with them. You're going to learn a lot more about what they love about your product, what they don't love, why they chose you, why they stay. And then it makes it easier for you to create content to target these type of customers. So what we did is that we created Sumo Link spotlights. So we talked to all these customers. We found out what their LTV is, what their favorite products were, how long they've been in the company. And everybody in the company kind of did a little presentation on every single one of these customers. So we discovered a lot of things, and then we started creating all our content, all our emails, our landing pages based on what we learned about our customers. Now, another mistake is that a lot of companies that I talk to don't have the aha moments, right? So it's what actions do your best customers or all your customers take that helps convert them from just visiting your site to a free trial, and then from free trial to a paid customer, and then most importantly, what makes them stay on as a customer, right? So for example, Facebook, they knew that you had to have 7 friends in 7 days, you'd be a customer for life. Twitter, you had to follow 30 people. At AppSumo, we learned that if you redeemed a freebie and you subscribed to the newsletter, you became a customer. But for you to become a customer and stay with us forever, all you had to do was buy 2 products in 60 days. So we started sending out emails, usually on the 55th day, with a coupon if they hadn't bought a second product, in order to get people to buy a second product for before the 60 days. Plutio is another partner that they had no idea what characteristics all their customers had that converted, right? So for them, it was just simple. It was adding a company name and creating 3 tasks within 3 days. And then for them to stay as a customer forever, all they had to do was send 2 proposals in 45 days. So their messaging, they tailored everything according to these key metrics, and it really helped. I think it was they had a 30% improvement on their conversions. So just pretty much what I discussed. Oh yeah, third one, so tailor onboarding for the completion of these actions. So once you discover what these actions are that your customers need to take in order for them to become customers forever, you want to make sure that the onboarding at the beginning is kind of gamifying or leading the customer into completing these actions, which is usually the next mistake. And your onboarding is sometimes very complicated. I get to your site, or I log in, I'm a customer, and I don't know what to do. It's super complicated. And we actually had a poll of over 10,000 refunds, so we always ask when people refund our products, why? And the number one reason is that it's too complicated to set up, right? So what I always tell founders, what I always tell my partners is you need to make your product grandma-proof. Your babushka needs to know how to use your product, right? If she knows how to use your product is going to be very successful, it's going to be very easy to use. But if it's something that like you need to get on a call and do a demo in order to start using, it's going to have hard adoptability. And then what you want to do is have a quick tour, a tour of the video, a video tour. So that means that as soon as you get on, you can kind of see exactly how everything works. And then a checklist that gamifies, completes the actions that you want to take that's going to make that customer become a customer forever. So Story Chief was one of our partners. They also had a very poor onboarding. We simply helped them set up a quick tour, like a video tour, and then gamification. So they needed to complete the tour guide, invite colleagues, connect their channels, publish their first story, and choose a plan. People that completed all those actions became customers forever. And that helped increase their conversions by 30%. Another mistake I always see founders make is a very inefficient roadmap. I've looked at roadmaps, and they have 1,000 things. It's just like feature this, feature, like a million features, no direction, no vision. And when I ask, like, how do you come up with your roadmap? It's like, oh, it's just, customers giving us feature requests. So what we do at AppSumo, for example, is that we created pretty much like this little system. It's very easy. So you rate every single feature, every single thing that you want to work on a 1 to 5 scale. So 1 is very easy, like changing a header, and 5 is very difficult, so like creating a mobile app, right? And then you have the reward. So 1 meaning it's not going to give that much value, and 5 where it's super valuable. So something that's a 5 in easy and a 5 in valuable is going to be a 10. So when you rank it, it's going to be at the top. So that way you can kind of see all the things that you should be working on at the top, and also make sure that it aligns with your vision. So you want to have a combination of not just what your customers are requesting, but also what people on your team have ideas. So you can kind of gather that, rank it, and then vote on it. Another mistake I notice is hiring, right? So either the founder is too involved in hiring, or they're not hiring fast enough, right? So I've seen founders that are running and doing their own support. They're doing coding. They're just doing a bunch of repetitive tasks that they should be hiring for. So I always recommend founders, they should not be doing any processes. They should not be doing any tasks. All they should be doing is helping grow and turn from a product founder to a company founder, right? So I always challenge everybody, go to your calendar and see what you're spending time on. Like, for example, this is another spreadsheet that I'll give you guys later. This is a more complicated formula, but you pretty much enter the number of hours that you spend doing the specific task, the impact that it has on a 1 to 50 scale, and then it's going to shoot out an ROI score, right? So you see here, this CEO, for example, was answering support tickets 5 hours, fixing bugs, sales calls, onboarding customers, and his ROI score was 270. And then the first thing we did is like, all right, look, let's hire somebody for support. So now you got support taken care of. You have sales taken care of. The support the person is now taking care of more things, so their ROI is higher. The sales rep is higher, and then the ROI score of the CEO went to 392, but overall 1142. But then you see we still have fixing bugs, coding, a lot of other things that they should not be working on. So my advice is always to find the processes that you're spending way too much time on and hire somebody that does it better than you. For those of you that have any in-house recruiters, a lot of you guys answered that you have in-house recruiters. This is a tip that a little trick that we started doing maybe about 6 months ago. So once our CEO was not doing any more hiring, we had our recruiter. We noticed that a lot of responses on LinkedIn or via email or cold outreach, we weren't getting too many responses. So what we did is that we gave our recruiter the CEO's LinkedIn. So he had access to his LinkedIn. So now it's Eamon that is reaching out to all the potential candidates as the CEO, inviting them to, come in for an interview. Or you can do the same thing if you have heads of departments. So if you have, the head of sales or your head of support, reaching out specifically to these candidates instead of a recruiter. And what we noticed is that we got about 5 times more responses from, just doing this little LinkedIn hack. And this is my last tip here. So if any of you have a product that only has one tier, so you have just one price, and you notice that maybe the yearly plan might be too expensive, and most people are on the monthly plan and you have a high churn, experiment with quarterly pricing. So that's what we did for one of our products, for Briefcase. We had a churn of about like 12%. And we ended up actually changing it to just quarterly pricing. So it was no more yearly, no more monthly, and we actually noticed a big spike, and we reduced our churn to 5%. So if you have a single product, maybe your yearly price is too expensive, experiment with quarterly pricing. Oh yeah, the biggest feedback we got from people that were subscribing to quarterly was that paying for a full year felt like a lot of money, but they felt bad that they weren't getting the savings of yearly. So with quarterly, they were able to get the savings instead of monthly, and they were committed for a much longer time. So that's pretty much the conclusion of my talk. So if you go to this link here, saasnation.paperform.co, I will be able to send you the ROI spreadsheets to have the formulas so you can measure your ROI. Same thing for stack ranking for features and roadmap. And then I have a couple of guides for email marketing, how to send a targeted email marketing campaign based on customer personas, and 5 welcome emails that work. We've tested hundreds of thousands of different emails over the last 8 years, so we have some pretty good data on that. And just for staying until the end, I will be giving everybody here $50 in AppSumo credits to use in our store. Thank you.